Welcome to the KD Weight Loss Podcast, or should I say this time a special episode because it's actually my Built by Callum page. So if you don't know, so yes, my KD Weight Loss Podcast is my general platform, but Built by Callum is my men's or dad's specific program. And it's different from my one-to-one and my in-person one-to-one work. It's a group-based program, and essentially it's designed for busy dads, and it's something I hope to take to mums in the future as well soon, build up either to make it a parents group or something like that. But the idea is it's a program built off 2 days a week where essentially you tick off all your boxes, your strength, your fitness in just 2 days a week, so you can make more from less time. And I've got basically my first founding member on today called Dave. Brilliant guy. You know, we went back a couple of years ago. We both played at a charity basketball tournament. That's how I met him. Lovely man, genuinely heart's good gold. And he reached out to me when I was kind of launching my founding members offer. And I said to him, look, mate, I'll run a really good discount for this first period of time. It is going to be a cheap program in the future, but I'm running a really good discount to start with. I want someone to invest themselves in the program. You know, let me know what you think of it, you know, because I want honest feedback. And he's grilled it when he needs to grill it, and he's given me really positive feedback when he needs to do that. But I wanted to kind of share like what it's like to be in this type of program, but also like from a guy like him who's got, 2 kids, he's got a busy wife, he works his own business, he's all these things that he needs to work on. But he's had a realization over little things over years and years and years approaching his 40s. That's to why, it's important to take time for himself now, but do it in a way that fits his life and basically deals with the chaos. So look, I hope you enjoy this episode. Hope you enjoy whatever you can get from it. If you ever are interested in a bit of coaching from me, follow me at Built by Callum on Instagram. Drop me a DM, just usually the word dad. That's usually the easiest one. Or just say, what the fuck do you do? And then we can go from there. But look, enjoy the episode. Hopefully you like it. I'll speak to you soon. Dave or David, what do you want me to call you today, actually?
You go, Dave works. Dave works. Yeah,
Dave works. That's fine with me. Yeah. Right. So start a podcast today. So obviously, Dave, you were the first founding member of my Dad Armor program. And I kind of just want to get everyone just to know a little bit about you before we kind of talk about like where you've been, where you were before, and like where you've ended up in the future. So Dave, give me a little intro, who you are, what you do, that kind of crack.
Yeah, great. Okay, thanks, Callum. Yes, so I'm Dave, David, D, multiple variations of that. I started the program 10, 12 weeks ago. What I do kind of my day-to-day is I'm a dad, first and foremost. I have got a couple of daughters in the house, ranging from kind of 1 to 6 in age. For my day job, I work in a small business that I run with my business partner. We do kind of leadership development, cool. So it can be pretty full on at times. I do have good flexibility as well, yep. which is good. So yeah, that's pretty much me.
So I suppose, Joe, actually, you said you run your business, so obviously I run my own, right?
Yeah.
Are you like me? So yes, you have the flexibility and I have the flexibility. I'm so grateful for that. But at the same time, do you have the same brain I have where you might be off, but you're not off? You're like, you're thinking about, got to get back to a message. I'm planning that in my head, even when you're at home.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, you're never truly off, I don't think, which is a shame. But yeah, I'm always trying to fit work in downtime or in the evenings and that kind of thing, or it's always in the head, or always thinking, you're always on, aren't you? And you're always
definitely
thinking about the next thing or responding to something. It's never finished. The day's never done. Whereas, yeah.
But saying that, so obviously one thing, I don't play for like properly. I know you play for a team and everything like that. Feel free if you want to share that. We obviously met through a charity basketball tournament. I think that was the reason, wasn't it? Yeah, we met through that. Never met you. And to be fair, I think you're the most level-headed person on our team. Everyone was lovely, to be fair. And do you know what? I love basketball, and like I know you like to do that in your free time. How did you get into basketball? Because I've loved basketball since I was a kid, and if I didn't do the sports I did, I would have loved to have played it properly. I'm chasing rugby now, but still, like, how did you get into basketball? Like, are you still playing? Like, what kind of crack you at with that?
Yes, I'm very much enjoying your comeback to rugby. Watching that, we're getting back into it. Everything's it's a bit harder, whenever you get a bit older. But yeah, so basketball.
How old are you, Dave? Yeah.
I'm nearly 40, mate. I'm not 40. I'm 39. I'm going to be 40. I'm going to be 40 in December, which is actually part of the motivation for trying to get in a bit of shape. I think, with
Hmm.
40 coming up, like it's the first time I've really been thinking about my future.
Hmm.
Well, that's a lie to think about my future, but, thinking about, okay, I'm getting touching 40. It's different. It feels different,
Yeah.
mid 30s or something about 40. You're like, all right, I might actually eventually get old here. So I should do something.
No, that's
Um,
true, mate. To be fair, you're not the first one I've heard say that. Like, it's funny. We have like the increments. Like, you get to your 20s and you get to your 30s, and it's always a, I'll get there eventually. I'll get there eventually. But
yeah,
40 was kind of approaching 40 was the kind of the bit that kind of hung over your head.
yeah, yeah.
Did you come more from, so like obviously we'll talk about how you got started, I suppose. Like, so what made you kind of looking like losing to getting in shape, starting the program? Is that more from the basketball side of things? Is that more from being around as a dad kind of thing? Like, where did that come from for you personally?
Yeah, it's a good question. It's probably like a combination of all
Hmm.
the things. I think definitely basketball's a part of it. And sorry, let me answer your original question. Yes, we met
Hmm.
to play basketball, charity basketball tournament, little Forget Me Nots Trust. So we met doing that. I played basketball since school. Like I started
Hmm.
in school whenever I was like 11 in secondary school. Loved it.
Yeah.
Played in school for my school, played for Queen's Club, played for Ulster at
Awesome.
a time. Yeah, it was great. We won in All Ireland with school. It was absolutely immense. Still,
Unreal.
oh, mate, the best thing ever. And played a bit at uni, and then didn't do anything for like 15 years, and
Okay, right. Quite a long time then, yeah.
a long time, yeah. And like I didn't do basketball. I did a bit of cycling, I did a bit of running, but never anything like consistent. I would get into,
Hmm.
in a couple in the summer months or something like that, and
Hmm.
then fall out of it. So I started back basketball a few years ago, kind of got back into it, fell out of it with some personal stuff. And then actually my real return from retirement was that tournament that we played in. That was the first time I'd
Oh, is
played
it
in
actually?
a long time. Yeah, yeah. Dusted off,
Unreal.
literally dusted off the basketball boots, pulled them out and they had dust on them. I got back in. So then fast forward a couple of years, c- just finished or nearly finished my first full season back in January.
Okay.
And I was doing a bit of running. I was playing basketball. I was feeling okay. Like, I was feeling like
Yeah.
fit enough. I could keep up with
Yeah.
the lads. I could play a game. Um, Not feeling strong, but feeling fit. And there is a difference, I think,
Yep.
Um, I mightn't have made that distinction, like 3 months ago before I started this program, made a distinction
Hmm.
between being fit and strong, but I definitely see there is one now. So I was feeling
Hmm.
okay. Then January, we're playing like 12th game of the season. And I was playing great, actually. It was the top scorer. We won the game anyway. No big deal. Just get that on, make sure that's in the report.
Plug
Uh,
the stats.
yeah, plug your stats. And then I tore my calf muscle
Yep.
and like proper injured it.
Rip.
And
Yeah.
it was
How
sore
long did
as
that set
heck.
you back then, roughly?
So we're in July now, and that was January. Just a couple of weeks ago, I was officially discharged from physio.
Oh,
So
really?
like
So,
that.
wow. So
Yeah.
that's literally only like so about a 6 month, 5, 6 month process to really get fully healed on it.
Yeah, yeah, they're fully healed. And
Oh.
like, the first, like, probably the last couple of months where, it kind of
Hmm.
plateaued and was just
Yep.
I was only seeing the physio like once a month, just kind of checking
Yeah,
in.
just to check over. Yeah.
Yeah, but it did. Yeah, it set me back, and I wasn't doing anything. And actually, I did. I was like, I need to count my calories here because
Yeah. Just
I can see how this goes. Like I was immobile. I couldn't even do steps for the first few weeks. I was like, I'm
yeah.
just going to eat and I'm going to put on weight, And I
Yeah.
was in. I was happy-ish with my shape, so I started that, and I went okay for the first kind of month or 6 weeks, and then I think I got moving a bit and kind of stopped counting calories. And then
Yep.
I was watching, and then I started being like, eating again but
Hmm.
not exercising because I could walk, but I couldn't run because of the
Yeah.
calf. Um, and then that's when I started this program, or when I started thinking about it. And I think,
Yeah.
sorry, that was the original question. Like, how did I get into it,
Yes.
or inspired me to get into it? Uh, Yeah, so I'd been injured. I'd been playing basketball for a season, actually really enjoying it. I forget like how
Hmm.
much I enjoyed playing sport, like team sport, being competitive,
Yep.
you know, playing
It's
with.
completely different, isn't it, to just training and running and doing whatever you do. There's a high of competition in there.
I love it. I love it. You just like go on the war, you know, with a bunch
Yep.
of and yeah, trying to win, right? And we did not win very many matches, you know, but actually it didn't even matter that much, you know.
No.
It was the competing, you know, and trying
Yep.
to beat the other team, yes, but be better than you were, you know. Um, so yeah, I love that, and I was like, yeah, I need to keep doing this, and I want to, I want to be as good as I can be.
Yeah,
Um,
so you've come from a place of you've literally lived and died by the sport. Like that's your training essentially.
yes, yeah, yeah,
When you played, you were training. When you weren't training, when you weren't playing, you weren't training. Basically, like
exactly.
other than a few tidbits here and there.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah, that's
right,
actually a really good.
sorry, was that Toronto Raptors Cup by the way?
Oh yes, up the wraps. Yeah, yeah, yeah. It sure is. Well spotted.
Unreal.
Yeah,
We'll have to talk on that later on in a bit.
yeah,
So yeah,
yeah.
you've come from a place of you trained pretty much when you were playing your sport, and that's like what you did. You were able to move around, you were able to play your sport. You felt decent, but you knew there's potentially a little bit more in the tank potentially. But then obviously, ultimately capped off. You've injured your calf. Right now, I really need to get back into myself to actually make sure I'm ready to play next season. Essentially.
Yeah, yeah. So yes, I wanted to play next season. I wanted to be strong, and I think I kind of realized that in order to like be like play sustainably and at
Hmm.
this kind of age, um, I needed to be strong as well as fit, as I
Yeah,
needed to do kind of strength and conditioning, which
absolutely.
I'd never really done before.
Hmm.
So, um, I was beginning to think about that, and then also simultaneously, I'm like reading a lot of stuff again, touching 40 and thinking about being older, and I'm getting the algorithms targeting me, you know, with these ads and articles about, you know, how to be healthy in, you know,
Yep.
later in life. Not so much like when you're 40, when you're early 40s or
Yeah.
whatever. The
Yeah.
stuff I'm reading is like, you know, in retirement, the way to have a good
Yep.
retirement is
Hmm.
starting now, and, you know, lifting
Yeah.
heavy things now, which is supposed to be really beneficial
Hmm.
for when you're older. So I'm thinking about basketball, thinking about that.
Yep.
Um, I'm also like I've just had my youngest kid,
Okay.
and she's just turning 1. Um,
Yeah.
whenever and I'm like, yeah, I'm nearly 40. She's 1, so you know I'm you know on the older side of the
Yeah.
dads, you know, a bit. So um, I'm like, well, if I can't change my age, but you know, I can change how I feel and how I look and that kind of thing. So
Yeah.
I didn't really like that. I don't think about that too much, you know, but I think that
No.
definitely a combination of all these things just come come
Yeah,
together.
little pressures each day will eventually cause an action. Like no
Yeah,
one's
yeah,
sitting there barn dooring it down and making you feel like the smallest thing in the world, but it's like you just have those micro thoughts, don't you, every day? Like again, I'm like, it's the same with me with rugby. Like genuinely, like so one of the hilarious things as a coach, right? People expect you to be super fit and in shape. I can't
yeah,
lie, right? Be brutally honest with me. I have bottled it in terms of my anxiety of going back to sport. So that bit of when we went to basketball that day, I was like, I want to go back to play sport. That's what made me want to do it.
nice.
And like I've come from combat sports rugby. I did a bit of basketball in school, like played on the team. I struggle socially, and like that's what's always held me back. And I, you know, like this year I bit the bullet, and I told my partner, I was like, look, I'm gonna do this year. And she said, look, I hope you do. And she was really supportive by it.
Yeah,
And I went the first night, and the high of going outweighed the anxiety that came with it. And I also straight away, as someone who regularly trains as well, I'm like, holy crap, my body is not fit for this right now. So something had to change.
yeah,
And like, even being honest with you right now, that's kind of actually why the program was being written, because I was like, one, I'd already thought about this program, but two, I was like, there
nice.
are dads I know that in this position who are going to feel this exact same feeling. They want the sports, they want the competitive nature, but they don't have that much time. They
Yeah,
can't train 2-3 times a week with the boys. They can't train 2-3 times a week at the gym. How can we do that? Do you know what I mean? So when you reached out, like generally, I was like, exactly what I need. Exactly what I need.
nice. Okay, yeah, yeah. I can totally resonate with that. Like the the anxiety, and I think I was similar for me, like with going to the gym for the first time.
Yeah.
Like I hadn't been in the gym in like 20 years since
Hmm.
university or something like that, you know? And
Yeah.
I kind of have like in my head a vision of like going to the gym and it being full of like, real ripped people and me walking
Yep.
in there, with my wee cheese string arms and that kind of thing and
Hmm.
not knowing how to do anything and everyone, everyone looking at me and judging me. Um, and that's put me off for a long time.
Yeah.
But then I had this. Then I signed up the program. Okay, we've got the program. I got to do it now. So signed up the
Yeah.
local gym, local leisure center, and it wasn't like that at all. It was all like I
Yeah.
went in the
Okay.
gym and every shape and size of people from the community in there
Hmm.
working out, like improving themselves, and uh, and I was like, okay, this is all right. And then, of course, I still feel a bit like, when I'm
Yeah.
trying different techniques and that kind of thing. And, I'm always like asking you questions about technique because
Yeah.
I'm so want to get it right,
Absolutely.
Um, but it's not, it was nowhere near as bad as I thought. And what did you say? Like the high
Yeah.
outweigh the
Yeah. The
initial.
high outweighed the nerves that were on top of you. Like
Yeah,
the
yeah.
anxiety is always, so I've done a lot of work over anxiety over the years, and the anxiety is always trying to steal away the joy you're trying to experience because it's trying to keep you in the
Mm,
you're more comfortable being familiar with the discomfort you live in. So
yeah, yeah,
whether it's a in shape thing, whether it's a soreness thing, whether it's going to the gym, I just don't like going to the gym. You're more comfortable being uncomfortable in the situation you're in than experiencing the new discomfort because you don't know what's going. And again, like I won't pretend that I'm the same as you in terms of gym training years. Yes, I've trained for a lot longer, but I won't ever lie about this. I still, when I go to a new gym, I don't like the feeling of it. It's not a
yeah,
nice feeling. I don't like not knowing where the kit is. I don't start from the car park. I don't like not knowing where the car park is. Where do I walk in the building? Do I speak to that person? Do I go straight up? Do I? Oh, that's the level of anxiety I have lived with at points. I'm not that far along anymore, luckily. But like,
good,
I
great.
lean into that and I'm like, that's where I try and communicate with content or my program. I'm like, even if you get one thing done in the gym that day, that is a step forward. And if that's what you're doing
Yeah,
for week one, and that's all I ever wanted from you because you came to me straight away and you're like, look, I've not done for 20 years. I'm like, okay, cool. So and you're, how you were at the beginning of the program, if I'm being really honest, like it's more common than people think. You're someone who I really enjoy as a coach. You ask lots of questions and you're willing to ask questions. You
mm,
put yourself down every now and then because you're like, oh, I feel like I'm asking questions constantly. I'm very much that teacher. There's no stupid questions.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Love
There
that.
might be stupid questions potentially from some people in the world, but I will always answer them as if they're not.
Yeah,
Because to that person, right, it's not stupid. It's really important, right? And my job here is to make sure you feel comfortable, safe, you can do it. So you're starting from a better place versus just fighting your own brain.
yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, it's so true. And actually, you touched on two things that I found really helpful with this program. One of them is, yeah, the questions, like being able to
Mm.
ask the questions. And I actually hadn't really realized it until you were saying it there, but it's like being able to ask the questions, but having that like safe environment to ask
Yeah,
them. And because some of the stuff I ask, I'm like, God, this must be really annoying, Callum, or something like that. And then you come back with like the most comprehensive, practical, helpful answer, and I'm like, wow, okay, great. I'm so glad
yeah,
I asked. So yeah, genuinely thank you for that, because it's otherwise I'll just get disengaged and get inside my own head and be like,
yeah.
I don't know how to do it. Then I'm not going to do it. So that
And do you know
was,
what? Go
yeah.
on,
Go
sorry,
ahead.
Karen.
No, go ahead because I'm moving on to a different point.
Yeah,
So
no,
yeah,
like you said there about the disengagement, right? And again, so I see a lot from a coaching perspective, again, that clients don't see because they feel all the heavy feelings and the intense feelings and it gets
mm,
overwhelming some weeks. Other weeks, you feel like you're cruising, it's the best week ever. But
yeah,
when those heavy weeks are heavy, that's when you want to withdraw because you're like, oh, God, I'm annoying him. Or,
yeah,
oh, I'm never going to grasp this. My job, even in this program where, like, I'll be honest, so this program is more hands off in the way that compared to my one-to-one. My one-to-one is
sure,
very intense because you literally have your own program, all that kind of style, and you've literally got me in your back pocket. Whereas this one, obviously, is a group style format. It's more text led, but obviously we use the weekly video to kind of address everything more in detail. So there is opportunity, like you said, for the comprehensive answer. But it is, like I said, it's just making sure that no matter what you're worried about or anything like that, it's just steering you in that right direction. Because again, you don't know where that person's come from. You don't know what they're feeling on the day.
Oh,
And
yeah.
at the end of the day, it's making sure that they feel they know where they're going to be and what they're going to do. And if they get it wrong, that's cool. You've got the space to ask the question, be like, I still don't think this is right. There's never
Yeah.
a, for fuck's sake, he's asking again. No. Like, I will ask you can ask that same question in 10 different ways and I'll find 15 different answers.
Yeah. Yeah. It's very, and it's actually a nice segue to the other point. Like, I think what I find helpful anyway, or useful, is like the practical nature. Uh,
Hmm.
I don't mean like the design of the program. I mean, that is
Hmm.
super helpful and we can talk about that. But what I mean
Yep.
is like practical as in not perfect. And
Yep.
you said it whenever you said, about on week one, if you just achieved going to the gym and getting signed up, or, and doing one
Yep.
exercise or something like that, then that's a win. And that's what I find really helpful, because I guess coming into it, I'm like, "Oh, okay, right, I got to do this and I got to do it all perfect. And if I'm over my calories a day, or if I
Hmm.
don't do one exercise, then I've messed it up. And then,
Hmm.
uh, what's the point kind of thing." Whereas,
Yeah.
like, I think anytime that we're chatting, or, in the group or anything like that, it's like, yeah, that's fine. Like, don't let it derail you, just like
Yeah.
keep going. Or, yeah, you can't do that exercise. That's fine. Choose one of the alternatives that are already there.
Yep.
Um, so yeah, that pragmatic piece, and that's
Hmm.
not being perfect. It's like, do the 80% or the 90%. That's actually going to give you the difference. It's
Yeah.
kind of like you talked about the pyramid for,
Yes. Was it
um,
nutrition?
yeah, for nutrition, uh, which is
Let me
like
just pull it up. Keep going. I think I've
yeah,
got it here. Keep going.
like what you eat, maybe it's the calories is most important, then
Yes.
that, and then up at the top, it was extra stuff that
Yep.
really is marginal. Yes, you might get an extra couple of percent. Um, so I find that really useful. Well, I find it really useful in the the actual nutrition thing, but also just as a general kind of approach, as in,
Absolutely.
it doesn't have to be perfect. You're still going to get
Nope.
80, 90% by doing it. And yeah,
I think I phrased it to you before, like obviously because I use basketball, I try and use basketball a little bit. I'm like, look, at the end
yeah,
of the day, if I know how to do a dribble, if I know how to do a layup, I can do a lot on the basketball court as long as I can
yes,
pass as well. So if I can do a bit of a dribble, bit of like one-handed dribbling, some basic passing, simple chest pass, simple bounce pass, and even a base layup, right? I am still an effective player because I can move the ball, I can pass to my teammates,
yeah,
and if there is an open hoop and I don't have, and I'm not, and I just have to put it back, I've got a chance. You know,
yeah,
and that's the whole point. Like that was the point of that pyramid. Like it generally is. I want to break it down. It's like what's up? Because the questions like you said them, but again, I will answer the same question 50 times, right? Oh, what supplements this? And if I eat at this time, and I'm like that, I'm like, do you know what? They are valid questions, but I'm going to challenge you to think the opposite way around. So that's the tip of the pyramid, like you're talking about. How much are you eating and why are you going over? That's the first problem to face, right? How much are you eating? Don't know. Okay, let's figure that out. Then afterwards, okay, 9 times out of 10, someone comes to me, they're eating over. That's the reason typically.
yeah,
So it's like why is that happening? Not a you're bad for doing it. It's like a why. Okay, well, I'm
mhm,
picking at the kids' dinner. I just don't know what's in my food. Whatever it is, that's fine. Cool. Let's figure that layer out. If you figure that layer out and nothing else, you will probably do 90% of the work well,
yeah.
you
See,
know,
that's
and
cool.
then
Yeah,
you went further than that. Like you said, you commented a lot on the protein aspect of it. Yes, that's a simple component, but it's still the next step. If you focus on your protein before your calories, it's not. It's running before you're walking. You know.
yes, yeah, and yeah, like that approach of like focusing on the bigger stuff first. I mean, it kind of sounds so like uh so obvious whenever
Hmm.
we talk about it, but I don't think it is, or for me anyway.
No, I don't believe it is for the general population either, mate.
Yeah, no, and you hear these things, and uh, like, oh, you can't eat after a certain time and that kind of thing, and then I'm the type of person who will like overanalyze all this stuff, and like I'll think
Hmm.
about the calories, but I'll think about this, I'll think about this, think about this. So it's so like liberating's maybe not the right word, but it's so
Yeah.
beneficial to know, actually, you know what, if I just do this for now,
Yep.
I'm going to get results, and then I can think about this. I don't have to think about it all at once whenever I'm trying to
Exactly that.
juggle work
That's
and kids and life. And yeah,
if you can
uh,
simplify 90% of your decisions day to day by just keeping it simple. When you
yes,
have to make decisions for the kids, when you have to make decisions because your partner's working, when you have to make, oh, flip, I haven't made that freaking dinner, or I've got that coming up on the weekend. You've got brain power to work with.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
mean,
yeah.
mate, like honestly, even yesterday, so like, for example, my day yesterday, not a crazy day, right? Got up, fed the kids, got them sorted, got myself ready, into work, 3 hours of coaching back to back, right? One of them was an adult one-to-one. The next two, groups of 6 kids. My brain's on, right?
Yeah,
Come back
yeah, it
home.
is.
I'm overstimulated. So quick 20 minutes, get my eyes shut, wake up, get back onto it, straight to the desk. I've not a chance to think. So
Yeah,
if someone in that moment's coming up to me and like, what's for dinner or something else, people don't realize, and maybe you've been in this position yourself, but the amount of women and men I've worked with who don't realize, they're like, that sends them over the edge, because then they're like, oh, they deal with that, and then it gets to the end of the day, they're like, mate, I don't even know what I'm eating. And then they're like on the phone, takeaways on, because they don't want to think.
yeah, 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 yeah.
And
You can't. Yeah, you don't have. Your battery's empty.
yeah, your capacity's gone. You've got nothing left.
Yeah, yeah,
So I like the fact that you talk about that. Like, it comes from a place that this program is designed to simplify. And like, again, from me, like I said, I'm brutally honest. This podcast is like, you are my testing member on this one. You were like, that is
yeah,
what you were. And because I've done group stuff before, and it's just never quite landed, because I felt like it's not had enough connection or enough involvement for me. I feel like I was too hands off. So
okay.
I sat there and I was like, right, I do one-to-one, and that's premium for a reason. But people in this world do not have that luxury all the time, because
Yeah,
one, life's expensive at the moment. Two, we don't want to invest in something we might not use, you know. So I'm thinking, right, how can I get blokes like yourselves, you know, like, who don't have all the time in the world, who maybe don't want to spend hundreds on themselves just in case they don't stick to it, because that is a real barrier. So I'm like,
absolutely.
right, how can I deliver something that is relatively cheap, has a good degree of hands-on behavior, in that, you know, there's a boundary for me that I'm not living in it all the time, but at the same time, when we do engage, like, you know, every few days or so, or like, you know, one intense weekly call a week where there's like a lot more information, you know, what you get from that is super important, or super comprehensive, or super detailed, or, you know, impactful. You know, you can do something with it. It's not just a Instagram reel says, here's some information, figure out what to do with it.
Yeah, 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 yeah. It's very practical, but it's also like bespoke, or it's tailored, yeah,
Yeah.
to that. Yeah, no, sorry, I agree with all that, and I agree about the investment piece, both in like,
Hmm.
when I say investment, I mean the money
Yep.
and time. You know, so yeah, for me, thinking about it now, that was a big thing actually, that I was able to be like, yeah, okay, let's give this a try, because the risk was relatively low, right?
Yep.
Because it wasn't costing uh, a huge amount of money, and it wasn't costing like huge amount of time.
Hmm.
Albeit it was still costing money and it was still costing time, you know.
Yep.
Um, but the risk was lower, rather than spending more
Yeah.
money or being like, oh, I have to be in the gym 5 times a week or something like that.
Hmm.
Uh, it then the risk was lower to actually getting results. And I suppose the other thing on the other side of that equation was, well, I knew you were expert because I kind of knew you and I'd been following you. So that meant I didn't have to think about it. You know, I didn't have to
Yeah.
think, oh God, what am I doing? Don't have to second guess it. Um, and I knew I was going, whenever I did get stuck on something, which I knew I would, there was an opportunity for me to be like, hey,
Yeah.
how do I do this? You know, so that de-risked it for me as well, or made
Yeah.
it more likely I would succeed, I suppose.
And I do think, doesn't matter whatever anyone does, it could be anything in your life, right? We always try a slightly cheaper approach first, whether it's, say, even before this, right? Someone is like, common one right now, right? I'm going to do it with AI. And I have no issue with that, right? But I'll say this, right? And this is not me being smug, right? But I have a mate who literally teaches AI. Like, he writes code. He's bloody smart as hell. He knows, if he's listening, he knows I'm on about him. Love the guy. And he even said it himself. He says, Callum, when you're using AI, right, and you're talking to it, he says, you're telling it what you know and what you're thinking. He says, you're telling it, I think this is what's happening. This is what I would do. And I believe this is the outcome. Give me an alternative or challenge me on that, right? He's not saying, write me an 8-week plan. I'm saying, during the 8-week plan, I'm going to do this, this, and this for these reasons, blah, 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 blah. And like he says, so the outcome I get will be very good.
Ye-
The outcome Joe
Yes.
Blogs down the road is going to get, write me an 8-week plan, lose weight. Most people don't know how to use it well enough to get the result. So yes, it may be free, but they have to do lots of thinking, lots of tweaking knobs and stuff like that to make it work. And yes, you might get the result, but for what effort and time have you got to spend in it before you even get to action in it?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's resonates with me, 'cause I use AI a lot.
Yeah,
I love it. I think it's great.
yeah.
You just want
This day and age we're in, absolutely.
yeah, yeah. Uh, but at the same time, it's like, yeah, you still gotta put a lot of effort in, and time and effort to get, like a mediocre result. Whereas if
Hmm.
you work with an expert who, because like AI will have, it's got knowledge on tap, right? But I don't think
Hmm.
it has the experience of working with X amount of other humans, who've had the
Yes.
same questions or the same pitfalls or find the same things difficult.
Hmm.
Um, and again, like for me, I don't want to have to think about it, even to like
Yep.
about what prompt I'm going to give it AI to tell it. Like I don't want to decide, is it 4 weeks, is it 8 weeks, is it 12 weeks, is it 2 hours in the gym? I
Yep.
want that, someone who's an expert, i.e. you, to do that thinking
Yeah.
for me. Because you're doing all the assessments. You're like, okay, he's busy. He's got this amount, blah blah blah. This is what's going to
Yeah.
work. You're doing all that in your head. Um,
Like, even like, I'll be honest, like, even writing this program was not easy. Like, it's because I'm like, and I worked in this for a long time, like, to get the concept.
yeah,
Because I was like, look, even like, I was stuck for a while. I was like, because I was like, 3 days is the ideal I would like someone to be at. But I was like, I know for a fact, right? Even me right now doing rugby, I'm struggling to do 2 gym days a week. And I'm like,
yeah,
what is the best program I can write for that amount of time? And even then, you know, obviously I talk more, it's less so written in the program outright, but say when you ask a question, oh, I'm running out of time for this exercise or I'm running out of time for this many sets. I've got the answers to shorten it even further if I have to, but I'm not putting that at the base of the program because it's like I'm hitting an 85% of people and then I'll tailor it
yes,
further if I have to with the questions. And it's like I could have wrote just a strength program. I'm like, "God, see, look, then we're not getting, as we're getting older, I'll be pretty honest. I don't know if you know this, but if there's do you know what the term VO2 max is? Have you heard of that before?
yeah, yeah,
So yeah, for
yeah,
potentially recycling. So basically, how much oxygen you can uptake and use and stuff like that. Essentially, very simply put. But that factor, which is only done by training your heart through cardio, is the biggest change in all cause mortality. So the risk that you die early is
yeah,
it impacts you more than smoking, it impacts you more than alcohol, it impacts you more than obesity. If you
man.
are fitter, you live longer, and it's the number one thing that we can change. So I'm like, even writing a program, I'm like, strength training is super important to be strong enough to lift, play sport, whatever. I cannot neglect the fact if this is not looked after, this heart looks not looked after, doesn't matter. He's not here for the next 10 years.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yes, exactly. You can't have one without the other. I'm funny. I was chatting to a friend of mine who does gym and similar kind of program that's got cardio at the end. He hates it. The
Yeah.
cardio at the end. I love it. Like at me at the end, it's like a little treat that I can feel good about myself. Not great at the
Yep.
strength. I feel like in the cardio, and I can
Give
really
it
hit
some.
it. And yeah, yeah, get a good sweat on and yeah, beat myself from last week or whatever, as
Yeah.
well. So yeah, yeah, no, it's
There's
definitely
definitely two camps in that regard. I agree. And like, I know for a fact I'll put that in for some people and they will never touch it to the end of the earth. That is absolutely fine with me. And I think that's the thing with this program. Take it or leave the parts you need. Like, I will ultimately live by the mantra of we avoid what we suck at. I'm not going to pretend that's not me either.
yeah,
I had a client said, I had a one lady client in another group said to me earlier today about it. She said, oh, all the things I know I'm meant to be doing, my physio told me I need to do. And I'm like, okay, so I'm gonna level with you here. My ankle and my groin, like I hate training them. They bore the daylights out of me, and
yeah,
it's just another thing I have to do. I'm like, if you want the good stuff, mate, you got to do the crap stuff.
yeah, yeah, yeah. You do. I mean, I think about that whenever I'm playing basketball, and you drive like 90 minutes away to play a
Yep.
match in Uri or something like that, and
Yeah.
you get absolutely hammered,
You're like,
and you're like, why did I even do this? Like, why did I come, uh, spend me evening,
yeah.
get really beat or whatever? And then you're like, yeah, do it before whenever I play the games that I really enjoy and we win or I
Hmm.
play really well. And you can't have one without the other,
No,
sadly. You gotta do the both. But yeah, it's important to remember that because I do have to remind myself.
absolutely. And I think with you, like again, take it from everything, like all the angles of life. So like, you're new to the gym, relatively, right? You were once new to being a dad. You were
Yeah.
once new to basketball. I don't remember any of those things that I picked up in 6 weeks.
No.
I don't. Like, generally,
Uh,
even to this day, I mean, Romans 4 and like, I mean, stuff like that, I'm still like, holy crap, I could still change this or I can do that. And like, again,
uh,
analytical, even 10 plus years into my gym stuff, I'm still thinking about that. That could be done better, or I can change that all the time. So I can imagine having to level with yourself sometimes when the gym doesn't feel good. It's like, it's hard, but you know what? If you ever cross reference the other parts of your life, more people doing that, I feel like they feel better because they're like, oh yeah.
It is. Yeah. I'm trying to remember her name. She wrote a book called Bravey Olympian, Alexi Papias. I'll need to
Okay.
look it up. But she's an Olympian, maybe like distance runner. She talks
Yep.
about the rule of thirds.
Yep.
When you're doing anything, you're training for anything big.
Hmm.
That um, a third of the time it should feel great, and you're like, yes, I love this. This is why I'm doing it. A
Fair
third of
enough.
the time it feels like, kind of, yeah, it's fine, whatever, take it or leave
Yeah.
it. But then a third of the time it's going to feel crappy, and you're going to hate it, and you're going to
It's gonna
want
suck.
to it's going to suck, but you need to have the balance to actually achieve something. Because if it's all the time you're doing it, and you're like, oh, I love this, you're
Hmm.
probably not pushing hard enough. Or it's
Yep.
just doesn't happen because there's some days, you've had bad days, you're tired or
Yep.
whatever. So I like
I
that, and it also when I'm having a bad day, I'm thinking about it. I'm like, you know what? Okay, this is just a bad third, but there will be good thirds. So get
hmm
through this.
Do you know what I thought about that similar thing the other day? I think I might have said it on a story or something like that. So like I did our preseason started not last week because I missed that session because my ankle's not great. The week before, and so I'm only doing like provincials, which is like the fourth and the fifth team because I want to be
Yeah,
more just gently eased into it. But
yeah,
they weren't fully trained at that point, so the first and seconds were. And the guy was like, "Mate, go out and run with them and like do their session." And I'm anxiety up there and like just big group tough, that's really hard to overcome for me, but did it.
yeah.
And do you know what, I walked
Right.
home later, I was like, that absolutely destroyed me, but I did everything and I gave it everything. Like I didn't half-ass anything, I don't have to be perfect. Like I felt like foreign with a ball in my hands, right? But
Yeah,
I said, do you know what? It's going to drag my ass up far quicker because I'm around people who are a lot better and they're going to
yeah,
make sure I do the standards. They're going to teach me things. They're going to do that. I was like, don't get me wrong. I'm going to train with the guys that are similar to my level. So it's going to be a decent challenge and I get that success a little bit more.
yeah,
But at the same time, it was that reframing of this might look terrifying, scary, difficult, whatever you want to think. But I was like, think of the positive it's going to give me.
yeah, yeah. Sometimes the best growth comes in that uncomfortable zone, doesn't it?
Hmm.
Uh, yeah, and it's a pain when you're in it. Fair play, fair play.
Oh, it was
What position you
terrifying.
playing?
See, I came from playing the fly off, so I was number 10. And then when I got
Yeah,
older, I got older, I finished puberty and stuff like that. I moved to winger because I finally picked up my speed.
okay,
But I kept all my skill sets. So I knew how to kick, I knew how to be under pressure. And I also learned to run to become involved in the game because I was so used to being involved in the game. So
yes,
I learned
yeah,
that skill really well. My brain still retains that now. I I haven't worried about position right yet because I'm more
yeah,
like, I'm more gonna be like to them, what do you need from me? I will
yeah,
meet you there first. I can
yeah,
do
like,
pretty much anywhere on that back line. If you need me in the number inside center to run a hole through someone, I might not be the biggest dude, but I'll run as hard as I can through that person in front of me because my brain will just stick to a goal. If you need
yeah,
me on the wing to be creative, to field the ball, kick the ball, whatever, score tries, I'll put my arse into that. If you need me in the middle to wherever I'm kind of like that. Just put me into the job and I'll learn the job. Just give me guidance. And
yeah,
that's the thing. I like being coached for that reason because I understand how it feels to be coached. Like, so even when I learned my craft, I'll be honest, the coach I had, a fantastic teacher, made me cry a lot because he was very hard on me. But at the
mhm,
same point, I'm like, again, I reframed it. I'm like, yes, he was a bit of a dick, I'm not gonna lie. But I respect him because of what he gave me and the standards he gave me.
fair.
Um, and
Sounds like it's
look,
a dick though, but yes,
oh yeah, he was definitely a dick, but again, I'm not that kind of human being, but I'm still at the same point. I'm like, do you know what? You set standards for people to meet, and you challenge them adequately because they need that from you.
yes,
Yes,
yeah,
I have that skill set of being very supportive. That is my forte of any coaching. I'm more of a supportive human being than I am a
okay, yeah,
attacking kind of human being. But at the same time, it's like if you're not doing something regularly and you need to be doing it, I'll be like, look, mate, come on, get on that. Like, Not because, and again, but not without the interest first. If you dipped away from the program, I wouldn't be like, where the fuck are you? I wouldn't be like that first. I'd be more like, hey mate, just checking in. First things first. How you doing? Are you good?
Yeah.
Go from there, and then I'll be like, look, is there anything I could do first? And then once you've gone through all that, I'll be like, right, maybe it's just you need to get after it. Get into it. Or that nudge, whatever. But I'll surf that line first with you
Yes, you won't jump
before I give
straight
you.
to it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, I think with anyone, like same with your mates in it, like you learn to read people or learn to match what energy they need. You know,
Yeah.
like even when I remember playing with you that day at the basketball, I still remember. Um, Again, I was looking for some guidance because I did not remember how to play basketball. I knew how to dribble, I knew how to shoot, I knew how to pass. That's about it. I
Yeah.
remember every now and then you'd shout something and I'd listen because like he has a clue of what he's doing. I trust him,
Yeah.
and you need someone just to. They're not being horrible to you. They're just trying to guide you, but they have to
Yeah.
do it firmly. Do this.
Yeah. And different styles work for
Yeah.
different people, don't they? And but yeah, I think the most important thing is, I mean, I think in life, in general, whether it's in sport or in like your work life, is like being coachable. I just think is
Oh yeah.
so important. Yeah, like listening and responding and not taking it the
Hmm.
wrong way. And it's so valuable.
Right. So tailoring back just a little bit more towards you for now, because to be
Yes.
fair, I've actually loved some of that conversation. That's actually really, really nice. I like that.
Same.
So you've obviously come from a position where brand new to gym, you've got into it, you've kind of moved through it. Um, and you kind of talked about what got you started. There's loads of little micro pressures and you kind of made that little jump, right? Did you so say through the program, right? Is there anything that you really, really, really struggled with? Like, or is there I know, let's go back to the time thing with dads. A lot of dads don't have the luxury of time to give anyway. So some of them, they might be feeling a bit guilty of stepping away further, or, you've got a partner who plays sport as well, who's busy, you got a little one. I know myself, like I'm trying to juggle my gym schedule, my sport, and my partner's life and stuff like that as well. And I sometimes feel like, oh fuck, am I taking time away from her? Did
Yeah.
you have any challenges, like personally, professionally, in the program itself that just did you have any struggles or anything like that?
Yeah, I mean, that example you've given definitely resonates. Like, it's finding time to do
Hmm.
anything, like as an individual. I think
Hmm.
whenever you're a parent, I think it's difficult. Um,
Yeah.
and for me anyway, yeah, there's always going to be an element of feeling a bit bad about it.
Hmm.
I seen a hilarious Instagram video that was like,
Yeah.
it's like if you're a parent and you're doing something by yourself, like whether it's like going to the grocery store or doing
Yeah.
this, like that's a break. You're on a
Yeah.
break. So I do feel like that, So yes, absolutely. Like making time, finding time. Well, finding time first of all is difficult. Like
Hmm.
as you say, Jordan, my wife, she plays football, and she's actually playing across two squads at the minute. So she's maybe
Oh
training
wow.
like once a week and playing two games sometimes.
Hmm.
Um, so that's like that could be 3 nights a week or 2 days and a Saturday or
Yeah.
something like that. I'll play basketball one night a week and then
Yep.
finding time to go to the gym, in
Yep.
between everything else at life and swimming lessons for the kids and
Hmm.
etc. Is yeah, it's difficult, but like we've made it work, and I think I'm just like committed to the program and the goal.
Yeah.
And I do remind myself of that whenever, I feel bad about it or a bit guilty about it or anything like
Hmm.
that. I'm like, okay, why am I doing this? Okay, well, it's to be stronger, to be
Yeah.
fitter and ultimately healthier. Um, Me being healthier is a benefit to me, but also to like, the
Yeah.
family.
Yeah.
Um,
I I think you nailed something really, really important there. Like, yes, we talk about being healthy for our kids, right? That's like the number one that every parent always talks about,
yeah,
and usually that's the tipping point to them doing something. But it's like I've even thought about this, like for my partner and like stuff like that. I'm like, I want to be healthy for her, so I can live my life with her. I want to be
yeah.
healthy so she doesn't have to carry my burden of my body that's breaking down because I'm not looking after myself.
Yeah. No, I think about both those things. I also think about being healthy enables me to like go play basketball. Say,
Mm,
if
yeah,
I don't strengthen my body and get injured again, and I can't play basketball. That's going to affect my physical health, yes, but it's going to affect my mental health. Like playing, uh,
absolutely.
playing team sports is like the one time in the week that I am fully present and I'm not thinking about
Yep.
work, business, kids, or
Hmm.
anything like that. I'm thinking about
Yep.
what I'm doing, and that for me is the biggest benefit
Yeah.
of sport at this stage in my life. Anyway,
Hmm.
um, is the mental side of it.
I think as well, like, again, I'm very of this as well. A lot of guys don't willingly talk as openly as they should.
Yeah,
And I think sports is a huge way of just getting, they don't have to necessarily be open and honest about the deep dive in personal life. Some of them will get more like that. But I think even just being able to go there and have a laugh and just, like you said, switch the brain off,
yeah,
engage in something that's not your own life. It's just the taps are off, you're fine, you can focus on what you're doing and you can decompress. And
yeah,
that's it. And like you said, you get the highs of playing the sport and learning the skill. You get all the little things that come along with it. So you being fit enough is facilitating that.
yeah, yeah, 100%.
I love that. So yeah, like obviously, for anyone who's listening to this who doesn't know the program, then so obviously the program, you know yourself, is built off 2 base days and then 3, I call them accelerated days, just basically
Yeah.
option or extras, but that doesn't sound like a sexy term, so accelerators is what it's called. How have you found just doing the base? Because you are someone who's just done the base program, and that's my point of this program. You just need 2 days a week, and like that, I will hammer that point home till I'm blue in the face. But like the last online program I did, loved it, fantastic. It's 4 to 5 days a week at minimum, and it's designed to work that way. So if you miss 1 or 2 days, it's like oh God, I've not trained my legs for a X amount of time, or that movement, and you can just
Mm.
feel it. And I don't know about you, but even myself, like I'm turning 31, right? My body, it's just like I'll miss something for a week, and I'm like, my hip I feel like I've missed it for like weeks.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, so yeah, how have you found just working on the base program itself? Like, has that supported you well? Where do you feel about it?
Well, okay, so let me answer in two ways. One, 2 sessions a week. I couldn't do more.
Yep.
If I didn't have basketball, I might, pick up an accelerator or something like that. And I love that the
Hmm.
flexibility's there. Or when I take a couple of
Yeah.
weeks, I might. But the fact that it's 2 a week is what's achievable for me. Uh, so that's what enables it. And then yeah, how have I found it? Um, yeah, I'm able to fit the two in, so that ticks that box. I mean, how I find it, I would really judge it, I think, on the results.
Okay. Cool.
It's the how I would make the assessment. I mean, I find I've enjoyed for the most part going to the gym.
Yep.
Sometimes it's like, oh, I've got to
Yep.
go to the gym. You got to, you know, put it in. But for the most part, I've enjoyed it, especially when I got into a bit of flow and kind of learn
Yeah.
the the exercises. But the actual results, so results like when I'm in the gym,
Yep.
realizing, okay, I can add a couple of kilograms on here. So I notice that, I'm making improvements.
Hmm.
I love that. I love being able to, have an actual, like a metric that I can measure and I can see, okay,
Yeah.
I'm getting stronger. But then also like how I feel and how I look, like, I've lost like, at least a stone.
Oh,
And
cool.
I can see that, which is great, when I like look in the mirror or that, and I feel like I've got a bit of muscle, which I've never had before, mate.
Do you want me to back some of that up for you? Because I actually ran the numbers on. You just sent me your measurements beforehand. Do you mind if
Yeah,
I
yeah,
share them?
yeah,
So
do yeah,
from
because they were a
from
bit
the
abstract to me. Yeah, so let's do
Yeah,
it.
so the last measurements you shared with me, right? So I took from them. Since then, you've lost 22.5 centimeters off all your body, right? So do your
Okay.
inches. That's what 10. That's 10 inches basically, right?
Yeah,
9 to 10 inches, right? The biggest difference here, your belly button. You've lost 6.5 centimeters. So you've lost 3 inches around your belly button alone.
yeah,
And
yeah,
I don't know if you know this, right? They sometimes, so obviously BMI is one thing they use in like lots of health places, right? The other
yeah.
one they use is waist to hip ratio.
Waist.
Um,
Okay.
Waist to hip essentially. So belly button and waist are kind of like interchangeable for people depending on where their natural waist is. And obviously, as if you're ever more overweight, your waist is obviously meant to be the narrowest point of view. So it's not. So a bit of a difficult one. So
Right.
belly button's
Okay.
quite handy because your belly button stays where it is, right? Typically.
Yeah.
um, so if I measure your belly button, right, and it's bigger than your hips, right, essentially, that's a sign that you are at more risk of an early death because of
Okay.
cardiovascular and metabolic risks. So cardiovascular disease, diabetes, you know, all the horrible things you hear about, right?
Yeah.
So if you drop from that belly button 3 inches, right, that is one of the biggest indicators that your actual internal health and the fat around your organs and stuff like that is improving
Yeah.
drastically. So that number, that's the biggest change on there alone. So from a health perspective, and obviously, yeah, of course, it's great. I've lost 3 inches off my freaking waist. Absolutely fantastic. But
Yeah.
from a health perspective, that is one of the biggest indicators they use. So that's one thing. And you said
Okay.
about your arms. Arms are always a tricky one, right? Because so typically, these way to explain it, right? Your center of your body changes the most. Your limbs change the slowest, right? So
Right.
everything
Okay.
changes in the middle, and then the limbs change last. It's just one of those
Okay.
weird things that happen. Men and women are a bit different. You've gained nearly a centimeter on each arm now as well. It doesn't sound like a lot, but like if you keep adding that up, bear in mind we've only been doing like we're nearly at 12 weeks, right? That's in 12
Yeah.
weeks. So if you do this across a year and you can extrapolate that, that's about an inch roughly across a year period, roughly.
Yeah. And I can tell, like, I can definitely tell both of my, like, my chest and my core, because I have t-shirts that wouldn't have fit me, or I didn't wear
Hmm.
because I didn't feel comfortable in them, and then
Yeah,
more recently I've grabbed them, and I think I meant to add this as a win one week, and I chose something different. But there's like
yeah,
my park run t-shirt that I got for like 25 park runs or whatever.
yeah,
um I got it, and you're just ordering them blind because you don't really know what size. Uh,
yeah.
and when I got it, it just it was like I was,
Just not.
uh, it really tight on me. So I was like, yeah, I'm not doing a park run on that. Uh, and then I grabbed it the other day, and it fit perfect. And I saw it
Yeah,
be my
yeah.
happy days. Delighted. I had a wedding this weekend. I was at a wedding. A good friend of mine got married,
Awesome.
and I wore, like, my
Yep,
wedding suit, and, it's normally, like, real tight, sucking in,
yep.
uncomfortable the full day. It just and a skinny shirt that I had from
Yep,
goodness
yep.
knows what age, and it all fitted really well, and, I was delighted, and I felt really comfortable in it. Um,
Yeah,
Both, like, physically, like, it felt
yeah.
comfortable, wasn't really tight on me, and, I was like, "Oh, yeah, alright, I feel alright." Um,
It's a nice feeling just to feel that way. You don't feel
yeah.
uncomfortable all the time.
Yes, exactly.
I
And
love
it's
that.
been, yeah, probably the first time in a long time that I've been, fairly comfortable with my physical appearance. And in
Yeah,
fact, so that I'm like, yeah, I want to keep going because I want to.
I love that.
Uh,
And again, this is the thing, right? You've taken to this, and the way you speak takes to this all the time. Like at the end of the day, what you're doing is not 12 weeks, and I'm bugger
yeah,
off. Like
yeah,
yeah, put it this way, right? Respectfully saying this, right? If you walked away after 12 weeks of this program and you went on your own way, right? I have no offense to that, right? But I would trust that if you did that, you would at least continue doing this because your brain has come in with the mindset of this is the start of the 12 weeks. After this is the real test is can I keep going? So yeah, sure. If you stay, fantastic. I don't mind that. But at the same point, in those 12 weeks, if that's what you've got from me and you're good to go in the future, I trust in that you will look after yourself because you know the why behind it and you felt
yeah,
the physical changes, the mental changes that, make you want to do that. Because the worst thing in the world I feel nowadays that I always have to fight against is, 6 to 8 week programs make you look absolutely nailed in 6 to 8 weeks. Fantastic. But the cost to get there, the high at the end of it is it's just doesn't exist because you feel like the worst person in the world because you just feel dead.
mhm, yeah, yeah.
Whereas
It's
I know slow and steady is a bit boring, and of course it is. Absolutely, yes. Sometimes you want it to go faster. Of course we can do that, but at the end of the day, like I talked about with you, you went out, you've gone to that wedding, right? You've gone to that wedding, you did your Father's Day dinner and
yeah,
cinema date and stuff like that. You weren't sitting there freaking ignoring every bloody thing that happened in your life.
yeah, yeah, yeah. No,
Um,
it needs to be sustainable, or else you're not going to sustain it.
no,
And yeah, as you say, you might get a quick high in, like, I don't know, 6 to 8 weeks or whatever it is, but you're not going to keep it going. So yeah, I think and to me that, like, I don't want to look good in August and then in
mhm.
December or January next year just be back to where I started. Like I hate
All right,
even the thought of that, man. Um, and I need to make sure I don't. So having a program that I know is sustainable
all
is
right.
great.
I
And
think go on.
I also think that some level of accountability is going to be
Yeah,
important for me, like a coach app or, that kind of thing.
yep,
If I'm just left to my own devices, even with the best intentions in the world,
yep,
stuff will come up and, I'll stop. I
yeah.
will. session, then I'll miss another session, then before I'll miss a week, 2 weeks, and then
Hmm.
um, yeah, slippery slope then, isn't it?
I totally agree with that. Like that's why I wanted to nail the low cost of this, if I'm perfectly honest, because the low cost of this for me was I need it to be that one reason to give it up quick, because when something's not going well or you're struggling or you say for example somewhere it's not as easy to engage with it, the first thing is, you know what, I've just sacked that off, it's costing me too much money, I'm not using it to the fullest, right? That's a very easy thing. I don't blame people either, because I used to
Yeah,
pay, you know, north of £100+ for my online program, right? I know what it costs, right? I have spent most of my adult life being coached because I value it. Only
yeah, yeah.
recently, because I'm actually doing our program, do I not pay for it. And even
Nice.
then, I'm sitting there every now and then. I'm like, I'm like, sometimes I'm like, fuck, I need to do it. And I'm like, but I'm like, that's why I use my social media, because I'm like, I'm doing my own program that I'm writing for these people because I
Yeah,
believe it actually is the solution. Again, anything I paid for before, fantastic. With rugby involved now for me, no hope in hell. No hope in hell. I
yeah.
could tweak it. I could do everything like that. But that's me as a coach, right? By the way, like I can tweak that program. I can't be asked. I don't want to. Do
No,
you know what I mean? As a coach, I have the skill set to get someone else's program I paid for and make it work for me. I don't want to do that. It's too much effort.
no.
I'm not paying for that.
No.
Um,
It's friction.
yeah,
It's friction, and once you introduce friction into anything for humans, right, we're gonna be less likely to do this
yeah,
thing. So the least friction possible, which is great when I learned that in COVID, and I added friction into like beers, like took them out of my fridge and they were warm. So if I wanted a
yeah,
beer, I had to decide it like,
yep,
6 hours before so it would get cold.
yep,
But it works in reverse, right? You gotta make it easy, or
yeah.
else I'm not gonna do it
Absolutely.
realistically.
Make the crap stuff easier. Make the nice stuff a little bit harder to enjoy sometimes. Like I last night I went for a walk, right? So I've been sat at the desk all day. I needed some steps. I don't buy lots of sweets and stuff for myself. Like there is stuff for the kids, of course there is, but their stuff doesn't
Yeah.
tick the boxes for me as much. So I
No,
know what I like. So
smart.
I'm like, if I really want it, I'm gonna go get it, and that's cool because I've decided it's worth
Yes.
overcoming that friction.
Yeah.
But 9 times out of 10, I'm like, oh, fuck, I can't be asked. And even driving somewhere like to Tesco's for the third time in one day, I'm like, I'm gonna go nuts if I'm in here again. And
Yeah.
like having that there is such a small nutritional thing I use. It's just a effort thing. If you put effort in the way of something, you're less likely to do it. Whereas if you need to do something, take the effort out of it. You know, me right now, I've got a 1.1 litre bottle. I
Nice.
can't be asked filling my bottle up multiple times in a day. So
Yeah. Yeah.
what I
You get
do, I have a big bottle.
Yeah. Yeah. You gotta make it easy. Yeah, and all those wee hacks, I think, all add up. We're talking at the start of the call about the one I love about the steps.
Yep.
You told me parking a bit further away. At work, I do that now. I park on the other street. I mean, it takes me like, maybe 5-7 minutes to walk, but
Yeah.
that's an extra few hundred steps each way I've got
Absolutely.
in, which
Saves
is
your car and your car paint getting scratched as well.
yes, true, 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 true. Added benefits.
That's
Uh,
the way I frame it to people. I'm like, hey, look, steps aside, no one's gonna be next to my. There's nothing worse than you're next to someone's car and you're like, why have you parked so close to me?
I know. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh, it's so annoying.
Oh,
Uh,
so
Very good. So I need a text.
that's
Uh,
fine. Crack on, mate. Crack on.
Jordan
We won't be
here.
too much longer anyway.
Yeah, great. No, I need to go to. We have to go to a bathroom. Anyway, we go to a bathroom place. We're doing an extension, and suddenly something's been
Yeah.
very urgent that we need to pick out.
It always is the way, isn't it?
Yeah, cool. Thank you.
No worries. So I suppose, like, yeah, look, we talked about where you came from. We talked about kind of results. So, like, the amount you've lost off your body, you know, you've dropped, like you said, about a stone by this stage. That's just in the 12 weeks. And look, in 12 weeks, I don't believe there's going to be huge differences, right? There's going to be enough to notice, right? That's why I'm
Yes.
being transparent with this. I don't like, hopefully it's in my content as well. I'm not here about, look at him from 12 weeks ago. He's absolutely jacked and ripped now and he's a machine and all that. No, he, this is not about you personally, but someone said this to me before, and this is how I used to look at myself. He says he might look like a bit more of a sack of spuds then. He looks less of a sack of spuds now.
Yeah.
That's what he said to me about myself,
Yeah.
and I was like, that is so true. I don't want to be like in my own body, even like I don't want to put the effort in to have 6 packs or anything like that. I just want to look a little bit more comfortable in my own skin. I wanted to fill out my tops a wee bit more, blah 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 blah.
Yeah.
But I didn't need to be the biggest dude in the gym because I don't
Yes.
want to invest the effort in either, you know?
Yeah.
So you've gone through your own process of that, like where you were 12 weeks ago to where you are now. Like, so you have you noticed that about yourself? Have like kids, wife, anyone else noticed anything, or just even in the team maybe or anything? Like, did you move back? Like, is there anything like that have you noticed yet? It doesn't always happen in 12 weeks, but sometimes someone drops a comment and be like, "Oh, fucking hell, you're moving a bit quicker."
Yeah, well, I've definitely noticed. Like, I mean, obviously, I'm taking the photos and that kind of thing, so I'm looking at them side by side. But even as I was saying earlier, like when I'm putting different shirts and that kind of thing, I'm noticing it. At that
Mm,
wedding, like four different people said to me, like, "Oh, you're looking well. Have you lost
yeah.
weight? Have you been in the gym?" And these are lads, me, I haven't seen them in a couple of
Yeah.
years. We used to play basketball with or something like that.
Yep.
Um, so yeah, definitely it's been noticed. Now maybe they're thinking, of me, that's some gains I've got, in a couple of seasons, but uh, definitely they're noticing it. Yeah, a couple of the basketball lads, did say, yeah, it was looking good. Like I think I'm definitely moving better on the
Yeah.
court now, which is surprising to me because I'm coming back from injury as
Yep.
well, you know. Um, but I don't know if if it's a confidence thing or if it is a
Okay.
physical thing or if it's a bit of both.
Hmm.
I'm able to get up and down the court, a bit quicker. And definitely being a bit stronger will help. Not so much now in off season, but in an actual season, whenever
Yeah.
you're bumping lads about and boxing out and that kind of thing, having a
Yep.
bit more strength, a bit more core strength, is really going to help.
Absolutely. And like you said there, like I think even though basketball, like if anyone doesn't play it right, it's labeled non-contact.
Yeah, yeah,
It's really really not. Like yes, in
yeah,
terms of absolute contact, slap in hand, but the boxing out, holy smokes! Like it, I don't play. I've never played, football, soccer, whatever you want to call it.
yeah,
I've not played masses of it, right? But the one thing I learned is to box out in that game.
yes,
I find it comparable in frickin' basketball because the frickin' weight of some of the guys pushing into the back of you and they're just leaning into you. They're not
yeah.
pushing you, they're not barging you, but they're leaning and nudging your feet. That is hard.
Yeah, yeah, when you're boxing out or when you're posting up, if you're playing like in one of the like big man positions,
Yeah,
yeah, it's more physical than definitely a lot of people think because yeah, it's like non-contact.
yeah. And even with basketball as well, like again, at the end of the day, like the court's not massive, but the speed on it's very like ice hockey in a way. I know you're a big ice hockey fan as well.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
Um, I love it. I love the ice hockey. It's a brilliant sport. But again, not a big court in both the sports, right? But the speed up and down, the intensity of the actions that happen, like 24 seconds on a shot clock in basketball sounds like forever. It's bloody not because
no,
you might get up court within 8 seconds, right? You've only got 16 seconds to make a play. So that means everyone's moving around the court. You've got to make sure you're fighting out, boxing out the position. You've got to potentially get a rebound, do a jump. You've got to then potentially keep your eyes open for someone else that's going to happen. You might have to get down the other end of the court.
yeah.
Like, that's not easy at 18 doing.
No, no, no. And then yeah, no, no, I mean, you're playing defense and offense, aren't you? So you got to be up and down. You covering the whole court. The whole
Is it 10s, 15s, 12s? What's the lengths again of the cores?
the length of the court or
No, the time
quarters.
on the, like,
Uh, and I think we play for 10 minutes.
yeah.
Yeah,
That's what I
yeah,
thought.
yeah,
I know it's different, like based on what sort of style rules you're playing by.
yeah.
But even for 10 minutes, like I remember doing that charity one coming off me like,
Oh, I know. Yeah, I mean, you going back to that charity. I remember that charity one, and it was like 2 5 minutes or something like that. We just got the games. And I remember thinking, oh, this is nothing. I'm a bit
yep.
disappointed. And then yeah, you play, and you're like, jeebers.
How am I doing that?
Couldn't have done any more. Yeah.
No, I love that. I suppose who won it this year? Who won the basket? Knicks. Did you see that coming? By the way, did you see the Knicks winning it this year? Because I was watching. I was like, once they went on that little run, I was like, there's no chance they're going to be OKC, get through to past the OKC ones. I was like, no way, no way.
Yeah, no, I didn't expect it. And even to be honest, whenever they went up a couple, I
Yeah,
was like, I'm not
to come
sure.
back.
Yeah, yeah, but no, they did well. I don't watch that much NBA because of time difference and
Oh god, yeah.
because
It's brutal.
time in general. Just finding time to watch any sport is tough. Albeit, it did end up watching a lot of the World Cup. It was at quite a good time
Yes, it
this
actually
year.
was quite late evening, wasn't it?
Yeah, yeah, I lost a lot of sleep over that. Actually, ended up, you watch the 8 p.m. game and then you're like, oh, watch a wee minute of the
Yep.
11 p.m. game, and before I know it, I'm at least the
1 in the
first
morning.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right. I'll finish up with this last question, Dave, and then I'll let
Right.
you get on away with your way if you can.
Yeah, great.
So, where you've been, what you've been through, kind of results you kind of got, how the program's worked for you. Anyone on the fence, if they're like similar to you, another guy, another dad, something like that, if you're going to tell them right now, like why they should do this or why they should at least, doesn't have to be this program, but if it is this program, why
Yeah.
should they at least invest in themselves or put the time in to just do something for themselves? Is there anything you'd say now you
Yeah.
know different?
Yeah, no, no, yeah, it's a great question. So yeah, if yeah, for someone on the fence or thinking about it, I guess my advice would be like to give it a try. But the reason that's obvious. The reason why I would say that is it's like it's low risk.
Yep.
And we were talking about this earlier, but it's low risk from a financial investment point of view,
Hmm.
and low risk from a time point of view. You're not paying like, for one-to-one coaching, um,
Hmm.
and you're not paying, you're not having to invest like 5 times a week. So,
Yep.
give it a go.
Yep.
You can, and the risk compared to what the actual outcome is, or the
Hmm.
potential outcome, I think is pretty significant. Like
Yeah.
I like feels weird to talk about myself in this manner, but I feel like so much like more healthy and
Yep.
confident and stronger, genuinely. Like I do, and actually, for the first time in a long time, I actually feel pretty good about myself. Like I've still got work
Yeah.
to do, but I feel like it's achievable as well. And
Yeah.
maybe that's maybe another bit of advice, or like it can be done. Like if I can do it, who haven't been in the gym for 20 years, was
Yeah.
was it coming off an injury, um, struggled with time, and like I didn't feel like I've ever done any weights or had any real muscle, and now I'm
Hmm.
like, all right, okay, I'm getting some, got a bit. I can see where this
Yeah.
goes. So yeah, it's low risk, and you get results, I
Yeah.
suppose, in a nutshell.
And I suppose like that last little bit of time ago, like you had every reason there to
Yeah.
put it off again. Like
Yes.
you could have let it keep going to your 50s if you wanted to. Like, I'm never going to have the time. I don't know if I'm doing the right thing. And even with this program, like I said, it's a group program. Absolutely. It's not personalized, but you could still get the personal touch to get you there because, you asked the questions that were important to you. They were addressed. They were answered. You had something to take away with it. You could do it.
Yeah, yeah, 100%. Sorry, that's to me what was a big part of making the decision was that I'm going to get support if I need it whenever I have questions. That
Yeah.
I can get them answered. Yeah, for
No, I
sure.
love that, mate. Like, honestly, this has been really, really positive. Like, I like the fact it's been quite natural, actually, the conversation, like
Yeah,
where we dipped in and out. Just want to say thank you for your time, genuinely. Like, really, really appreciate it. I've always feel bad because it is a time investment for everyone. So I appreciate it so much. But I'm going to cut it off there. So
cool.
thank you very much for listening.